Hi everyone, Later Bray here, and today I'm going to show you guys how to get CGminers up and running, get MSI Afterburner up and running, and get you guys mining like a pro. I'm going to get you guys a lot of information. I'm going to give you guys a lot of resources so that you guys can know the process of how to tune your cards, how to configure everything. I'm going to try and explain as much of these variables in CGminer as I know best, and in the description I will provide links to CGminer, links to Afterburner, and I will provide also some sample bat files that you can use with CGminer. So first, obviously, step is that you're going to want to go to a pool like dogiminingpool.com. That would be good. And once you register, you're going to want to head over to the My Workers page. Here, this is the easiest part about setting everything up is you just want to punch in a number. I usually just do a single number and then my password is X. This really doesn't matter. I mean, if you guys want to steal my login, yeah, go right ahead. You'll just be mining for me and getting me more doggies. So anyway, like I said here, just go ahead, punch in a number and the password. I like to keep it number and X is my password. Just keeps things simple. And you can see here it's essentially your login name and then a number. And that's it with your password. So that's it. That's all you got to do on the pool side. So that's all you got. That's all we really need to do. So the next step is going to be downloading CGminer 3.7.2. The reason you want 3.7.2 is because it was the last version of CGminer to support GPU mining. The thing is that I guess the developers thought that GPU mining is worthless. Whatever, they just went ahead and removed it in every version after this. So who cares? It's still the best way to do mining since you can configure it precisely for any new cards that are coming out. So you're going to want to download CGminer. I'll have a description. I'll have a link in the description for you guys. So once you get that going, you just want to go ahead and right click on it and extract it just like any other program that you would do. And when you go ahead and open it up inside, you're going to see CGminer and you're going to see a whole bunch of stuff. Essentially, you're not going to do anything with any of this stuff. I'm just going to show you guys the .bat, the batch file way. I think it's the easiest way to manage multiple pools and to do the best kind of testing. A lot of people like to do .conf files, the configuration file, but I mean, I don't know all the commands for this. It's another format. I honestly think it's more complicated. I mean, the only real benefit I see to using this is that you can have multiple pools for one coin. But I mean, if you're gonna have multiple accounts on multiple pools, it's gonna be a pain in the ass to switch a coin, to switch to another pool, because you're gonna have to edit the config file unless there's some other way that I'm not aware of. You're gonna have to constantly edit your CGminer config to update, and that's just, I mean, it's just more work than you want to do. You want to log in, you want to double click, and you want to be mining. So let's just keep it simple, and we'll move on from here. So once you have CGminer open, you guys have to know what cards you got, because this is very essential to making sure that we tune the card with the proper settings. So the next step that I'm going to want to recommend is you want to go ahead and hop into Google and go ahead and type in Litecoin mining hardware. I'll provide a direct link here. But essentially, you just want the first link here, the Litecoin info mining hardware comparison. This is a great, awesome resource to get all the information on all the GPUs that are out there that have been tested and what their kilohash rates are, so that you can get a starting basis. The cards that I'm going to be working with are the R9 280Xs, which are also equivalent to the 7970s, so you can use the exact same settings across the cards to get the configuration. I don't know why people are saying only 650 or so. I mean, 700, you should be nailing 700 easy, at least 720 with the configuration settings I'm going to give you, and I'm getting great temps. Most 7970s and 280Xs that I've worked with, including the XFXs and the Sapphires, you can voltage unlock through Afterburner, and that will allow you to turn them down a little bit so that you can save yourself some energy and save yourself on the temperatures. So go ahead and keep this page open, because I'm going to be doing the 280X, but you guys are going to have different cards, so you're going to want to look around here. So just so you guys understand what these columns mean, this is your hash rate. This is going to be your core settings in Afterburner. This is going to be your memory settings in Afterburner. And these are going to be the variables you're going to want to work with in the batch file, which I will show you exactly how to set up so that you guys aren't confused in the future. Okay, so we got our account set up. We got CGminer open. Let's get connected to the pool. Let's make our batch file. So you're going to want to right click and go to new. In the CGminer window where the exe is, you're going to want to go to new, create a text document, Dogi mining pool. Great. What do we do now? Well, we open it. So there's a baseline information that's always going to work in every single config that you want. So I'm going to go ahead and pull these out of my other configs that I have, just for the sake of expediency. So you're going to want to put setx and set GPU sync objects always inside here. These two are going to make sure that your cards are running at maximum efficiency, allocation percent 100. They'll be hitting 99% usage, and that's exactly where you want to be. To be 100% honest with you, I do not know the exact thing that GPU use sync objects does, but I know it's important. It does make it has had an impact on my performance in the past, so I've been always just sticking with it and never had a problem with it. So now we want to copy or insert cgminer.exe script to specify that we're going to be script mining. Your username, -p is for password, and -o is the server information. So we're going to want to get this on its own line as well. So this is going to be your base config. You don't want to change. You're always going to have something similar to this regarding, other than obviously your own username and password are going to be different, and maybe the server information if you change it. So this is going to be your base configuration you want to use for the future. Now, what are all these other crazy variables I got going on here? Well, I'm going to try and explain it to you. Your thread concurrent, this is your thread concurrency, which is going to specify to the card, essentially how hard to work and how many threads to use. Your -g, I believe, is not your lookup gap. I'm not sure. I believe this is vectors in the CGminer config. This is something that you can do with or without, depending on what it says on the Litecoin information page that I showed you here. Really, it's just going to depend on what your rates are, and you can always Google and ask on the forums and see what other people have got to see if they got some magic elixir here that is going to make your cards better. So this is really all just a big game of alchemy. Changing one variable here might give you more hashes, might give you less, but essentially these are pretty universal here. Temp cutoff 90. If my card hits 90, I want it off because that's scary and I don't like it. Temp-overheat is going to be 85, is where CGminer is going to start to throttle the card, I believe. I've always had it at 85. I've never had a problem with it at 85. I understand that it's going to try and stop the card from going anywhere above here. GPU-powertune, this is going to, I'll show you this. This corresponds to Afterburner. Essentially what this does is it limits your card from throttling when it reaches a certain temperature. On my 280Xs, I know that at 73 degrees, especially on my XFX card, it's going to start to throttle the GPU usage down to 50% to make sure the temps don't go above a certain point. And by changing your power tune to 20, it eliminates that throttling. Threads is the amount of threads your card is going to use. Scan time is the number of time in seconds. CGminer is going to check and make sure that the block we're working on is the current block in the network. Q0 is something, I'm not going to lie, I'm not exactly sure what that is. And then no submit stale. If we have a bad share, we're not going to submit it so we don't hurt the pool in their share ratios or your share ratios. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and punch in these I'm going to go ahead and throw these guys over into my other config because I know they work. So what may work for me may not work for you. Again, this is for 7970s and 280Xs. So make sure that you have a space between everything before the dashes. Some of these don't require dashes. The G's, intensities, and widths don't only require a single dash. So just make sure that your config looks similar to mine, just to make sure that when you open CGminer, it doesn't spit out an error at you. Okay, great. So now we have the text file. What do I do with it? Well, you're going to go to File, Save As, and you're going to go ahead and put quote the name, so mine Dogi mining pool, and then you're going to put .bat quote, and then hit save. Okay, you're done. Now, in your CGminer folder, look at that, Dogi mining pool.bat. You're like, well, do I have to do this in the text file every time I want to edit it? No, not at all. You just right click on it and hit edit, and it's the same thing. And then all you have to do every time you make a change, file, save, and it's done. Cool. So let's go ahead and see what the heck happens when I hit this bat file. I double click. I see CGminer starting to fire up, and you got that blinky up here in the left hand corner. You're just wondering, okay, when's it going to start? Usually when this is blinking, it's trying to work. So this process can take longer for slower computers. It may not. So okay, great, we're connected. We're connected with our username. We're connected to the pool, and our hash rates are slowly going up. So on the first shot, you're not going to necessarily get the best hash rates ever, but that's what Afterburner is for. So let's go ahead and download Afterburner. I will have a link in the description to the website and have it installed. So okay, now we got CGminer open. Now it's time to really optimize our cards. If you go to the Afterburner settings, click on Afterburner and you have it open. Go to settings. We're going to try and voltage unlock your card. So you're going to want to make sure to enable unlock voltage control and force constant voltage. So if your card is voltage unlocked, it'll allow you to manipulate the voltage to save on temperatures and on electrical costs. Great. So here I have 5 cards that I can choose from that I'm going to configure manually, because each card does not perform the same as another. I have two 7970s, and they don't necessarily perform on the same way on the same rates. So each card may not necessarily like the exact same settings as another. So let's go ahead and look at our cards. I'm going to select GPU 1 here. So how you correspond, what's going on here, the easiest way is to look at the temperature. So let's see, GPU 0 is the one. No, let's do GPU 4. So GPU 4 has a temperature of about 65 degrees. So we're going to go look here and look, see GPU 4 is GPU 1 in Afterburner. So let's screw with GPU 1. You go settings, click GPU 1, hit OK. Now, so this card is not voltage unlocked. I don't understand why. My other cards are, and they're also Sapphires, but you know, they don't necessarily all work. Other programs to voltage unlock it is Sapphire Tricks, but I absolutely hate that program, so I refuse to use it. Anyway, so that power limit that we were looking at in CGminer, it's adjustable here. I just have it set in CGminer because I always have it at 20. I don't want my cards getting throttled. I don't want reduced performance. I want my hashes hashing all the time. So basically here, your stocks on a 280X and 7970 is going to be at about 1,000. I have found that that's not necessarily the best rate. The best thing to do is to go ahead and just click here and go up from 1,000 to say 1010, whatever. So I went from 1050 to 1010 and I hit apply. Let's see what happens to my hash rate here. I'm at 713. Oh, we're starting to drop. 711. There we are. I dropped from 715 to 712, 713. So not necessarily noticeable. What am I saying? 696 GPU 4. I'm sorry. See, I got that mixed up myself. So make sure that you guys know which card you're messing with. 65 degrees, 65 degrees. There it is, GPU 4. So we got 683 kilohashes. So that's at 1010. So at stock speeds, this is what you can expect to get from that card. 685, 683. Look at that. We're still going down. I think we're still going to go down just a little bit more. 684. So that's where we've leveled out. Now watch what happens when I move it up. I move it up to 1010, 1020. You can just, guys, just take your time. Just hit 1010. You know, okay, apply. Check your rates. See if you like it. Check your temperatures. See if you like it, and then you move on. I actually found that 1050, I took it all the way up to 1080, and I found that 1080 actually didn't give me the best results. So what I did was I took it to 1050, I hit apply, and let's watch our rates go up. Oh, look at that, 681, 688, 696. We're moving right up there, guys. So as you can see, it's very simple to optimize your cards to get them exactly where you want to go. Now, what about this voltage, all this voltage talk that you've been talking about? Okay, I can show you that right now. So let's go to a card that I know is voltage unlocked. I believe this guy right here, GPU1. So we're at 69 degrees. So we're going to find 69 degrees down here in the temperature monitor. GPU5. Settings. GPU5. Okay. Now you can see that I'm voltage unlocked. So guys, when you find the settings that you want for your card, make sure that you hit save and click on the profile, and then know that those settings are good to go. Just in case something gets reset, you don't have to mess with this. You just click a button and we're good. And these profiles are on a per card basis. So profile 1 on card 5 is not the same as profile 1 on card 1. So keep that in mind. Now, I'm going to go ahead and reset this thing to stock. And let's see what happens up here. And I'll always keep my fans at 100%. Personal preference doesn't necessarily, you can do what you like for your own temperature thresholds. It's all personal. Doesn't really matter to me if you want to run your fans at 100% or not. So now that I've gotten this card down to stock, let's see, I am on GPU 5 and we are at 67 degrees, and GPU 1 here, so we're at 656. Sometimes when you're messing around on the machine, when you're actually doing work on it, you can lose hash rates. That's totally normal. When you stop using the machine, just stop moving your mouse, stop doing stuff, you'll see that rates go up. So what I did was I adjusted my voltage from 1070. So let me put these back to where it was. So I have my PowerTune at 20. I found that 1020 is the right clock speed for this particular card, and memory speed's 1500. So my stock voltages on this card were about, wow, why is this lower? That is very strange. Okay, well, it's not I'll tell you what, it's not 1075. That's not stock voltages for this particular card. I must have screwed up one of my profiles, but essentially you want to bring your voltages down 10 millivolts at a time, and you'll see your temperatures actually drop dramatically. I've dropped temperatures by 10 degrees Celsius on a card by dropping my millivolts, maybe 20 or 30. But the thing is that if you get it too low, CGminer will crash. That's okay. Restart Afterburner, restart CGminer, and just start the process again. If you crashed at a certain rate, say I crashed at this number here, 1119, bump it up 10 more millivolts or 5 more millivolts, leave it there, let it run. If it's stable, lock it up and save it, and you'll be good to go. Anyways, guys, that was the tutorial using a little bit of Afterburner with your CGminer configs. I really hope that you found this helpful. I hope that this will alleviate some of the issues and concerns you guys may have had with starting a pool. Starting in the pools, again, you're going to want to find your information here and put it into your batch files and try it all out. Like I said, it's kind of like alchemy. You just kind of got to guess and check and see what works best for you, since everything is not necessarily the same. And I'll have links to everything that I posted in the description. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks.